All right, you're welcome to Hofty Center, also known as Hope for Tomorrow Initiative, Peace and Conflict Management Workshop. If you're hearing me, I would like to see your comment in the comment section. Tell us where you're watching us from. We have people who are joining this workshop from across Africa, from Delta, Abuja, from Ghana. Some people who register from Ghana, from outside Nigeria, and within Nigeria. So kindly tell us where in the comment section. Tell us where you are watching us from, and we are streaming live from the Niger Delta, Delta State, precisely to be very precise. Tell us where you are watching from. We are ready and we are starting now. Just tell us where you're watching from in the comment section. We are ready. Yes, I can see your comment. Yeah, good evening, Ibrahim. Good evening. Thank you, Ibrahim. Good evening. Yes, we are ready. Yeah, you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you for that feedback, Ibrahim, that you can hear me loud and clear. Yes, tell us where you're watching us from. Okay, you're watching from Lagos. You're watching from Lagos. Ayodele, you're watching from Lagos. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Uh, we also have, yes, Tega said he's watching from Delta State. Tega from Delta State. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yes, tell us where you are watching from. Okay, we have Ojo Nation, and he's watching us from River State, Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We are still expecting other people to join this training. You know that most people are usually are already acclimatized to the Nigerian or African time of 18. So I will crave your indulgence to just give me 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, so that we can carry everyone along. Let's just wait for 2 to 3 minutes. And so that we can carry everybody along. So good evening. Thank you for joining. Tell us where you are joining us from, where you're watching from. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching from. Kindly just tell us in the comment section where you're watching from. Yeah, Mr. Kell from Port Harcourt. Thank you. Oh, digital librarian. That's my boss in the digital world. Thank you for joining, sir. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We have yeah, Mr. Kate from Port Harcourt, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All those who are just joining us now, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are watching from, because this program, we have people who registered for this program across Africa, within and across Africa, from Nigeria, from Ghana, someone registered from Ghana, and it's even beyond the shores of Africa. So just kindly tell us, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. Tell us where you are joining or where you're watching from. Would like to get that feedback from you. Like I said, we'll start exactly 10 minutes past 7. We are just trying to see how we can carry everybody along. If you're also going to watch this, or if you're watching this as a replay, also do the same thing. Tell us where you are watching us from. Tell us where you are joining us from. All those who are just joining, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we have Dr. Abudali. Thank you for joining. He's joining all the way from Sokoto State. Thank you for joining. You're welcome to the training. You're welcome to the training. Thank you for joining. We just have additional 1 minute, then we go straight to the training. We have just 1 minute more. We go straight to the training. Like I said, we'll start exactly at 7:10. All those who are just joining us, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, depending on where you are watching from. Kindly tell us where you are watching from Abuja, from Africa. Just tell us where you are watching us from, and we would like to get that feedback from you. That is so important to us. We like to get that feedback. Just kindly tell us where you are watching us from. All right, it's exactly 10 minutes past 7. Oh, let me take this last one. We have O2 Simon, and he's watching from Port Harcourt. O2 Simon, thank you so much. Thank you for joining this training. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. So we go straight to the training. First, I would like to talk about our organization, Hope for Tomorrow Initiative. Hope for Tomorrow Initiative, also known as Hofty Center, is a peace and development organization. It's a registered peace building and development organization, and our goal is to contribute to peace building across Africa, within and across Africa. And in so doing, we are committed to the pursuit of the totality of human well-being. But our core areas of specialization is peace building, and development. Now, let me also say a word or two as regard the brainchild behind this training. This online training, also known as Learning Cycle, actually started in the year 2019, 2020 during the COVID. Around that COVID period, as you can remember, it was very difficult for people to have physical meeting, to do training, and to do physical engagement. And so our NGO, we thought of how can we be able to reach out to people, without physical meeting, since COVID-19 made it very difficult to assemble people in a room or in any physical space to have any form of engagement. It was this thinking that led to the online training, or the online learning cycle, as we called it. We decided to create an online space where people could learn different skills and acquire different practical knowledge and skill that will help them in their everyday life, as well as in their different career and endeavor. So that's how this online training or learning cycle started during the COVID-19. We're doing it back to back for every month. But I think after the COVID, we normalcy has returned, and we, for one or two reasons, we couldn't do that again. We have received constant calls and messages on the need for us to continue this online engagement and training. So we decided to come back to what we were doing during the COVID-19, because we decided to leverage on technology. People are joining from across Nigeria. Imagine assembling categories of people from Africa and within and outside in a physical environment for us to be able to have this kind of conversation. So that was how this learning cycle came about. Now, what is the brainchild behind this training, or what is this training all about? What is this training all about? It's a peace building and conflict management training. What is it all about? Oh, Gloria from Rumola, Port Harcourt, thank you for joining. Jacob, thank you for joining. Jacob also joining from Port Harcourt. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Jacob. Every other one who is joining, thank you for joining. I might not be able to take any other further acknowledgement, as we've already started the training. Thank you, everyone who is joining. Thank you for joining. Just kindly tell us where you are joining us from. We'll get those feedback and we display it later on in the course of the training. Now, what is the idea, or what is the brainchild? Why is this training important? Why did we decide to organize this particular training on peace building and conflict management? What is the brainchild behind this particular training? This training, like we mentioned earlier, this training is primarily designed to help participants acquire knowledge on peace building and conflict management. In so doing, they become peace ambassadors. Statistic has it that over almost every family, or about 80 to 90% of families, or wherever people exist in group, there are conflicts. So how do we leverage on this kind of training to acquire knowledge and skill on how to be able to manage conflict and be able to build peace. So this training is about peace building. It's about how to manage conflict. It's about conflict resolution. It's about conflict management. And for us as an individual, these skills and knowledge is not just for only those who are working as peace builders. Knowledge of peace building and conflict management could be utilized in family. You could utilize it in your office. You could utilize it in your community. You can also utilize it those who want to build a career path in peace building and conflict management. So the training is actually for everybody. Knowledge that you learn from, knowledge that you are going to acquire from this training, you can use it in your family to be able to build peace. You can use it in the office to manage conflict. You can use it in your community. You can also, for as many NGO workers and all those who want to build a career in peace building, you also find this training very, very important. Now, this training is going to be for 3 days. We decided to make it 3 days because we don't want to make it very bulky for each of the days. We already know that we are all working, you have gone to work, and so you will need to relax the next day, work continuous. So we are making it just 1 hour each day. So for today, it's going to be 1 hour. Tomorrow is going to be 1 hour. Then on Wednesday, is going to be 1 hour on every day, one hour for every day. Then the third day is going to be exclusively for those who want certificate. There are those who want to get certificate from us as peace ambassadors. There are additional information that we would like to tell you, and that's why the day 3 is exclusively for those who need certificate recording and other training resources. So the training is actually free except those categories of person who will be subscribing for the third day, who need the certificate from the NGO as a peace ambassador, who need the training resources and all that. Such categories of person will be made to make a modest contribution of just 4,000 naira. Now we go straight to the training. So I'll be sharing my slide with you so that we go straight to the training. We have a lot of things that we need to cover. All right. If you can see the slide, let me know that you can see it in the comment section. Can you see the slide? I want to be sure that you're seeing the slide and as well as you are also hearing me. If you can see the slide, kindly just comment on the comment section. I want to be sure that you are seeing the slide before I will proceed. Oh, Tega said he cannot see the slide. Oh, the slide is already displaying on my screen. Yes, I can see and hear you. Okay. To Simon, thank you for that feedback. He said the slide is clear. The slide is visible. All right, thank you so much. So we can continue. Tega, kindly just look at your network. It might be as a result of network. Just kindly check again. The rest of the people are already saying it. Just check with your network. All right. Our learning objective. What are the things that we want to achieve in this particular training? What are learning objectives? For the whole of the 3 days, first we'll be looking at the concept of peace and peace building. We have to start with conceptual clarification. We cannot talk about peace building and conflict management if we don't know what peace means, and if we don't also know what peace building means. So we also look at the difference between conflict and violence. Most people use conflict and violence interchangeably. From this training, you get to know whether conflict and violence can be used interchangeably or they are the same. Also in this training, we'll be looking at the causes and effects of conflict. The causes and the effects of conflict. Then more specifically, we now be looking at dealing with conflict. How do you manage conflict when it arises? So we'll be having a discussion on conflict resolution. We shall also be having conversation on conflict management styles. There are different conflict management styles or procedures, systems that you could use to manage conflict when it arises. Then we shall also be looking at dealing with bias, prejudice, discrimination, and issues of perspectives and perception. And then finally, we'll be looking at becoming a peace ambassador. What does it mean to become a peace ambassador? So today is just the introduction. We'll be focusing on understanding the concept of peace and peace building. And we shall also be looking at the difference between conflict and violence, the causes, the common causes of conflict, and the effect that it has on society. So we'll be taking point 1 and 2 in the slide. The next day we take another point 1 and point 2, and the last day we take the remaining 2 points in this slide. All right, thank you. Now, when we talk about peace, just to let you know that for now, you can only join the conversation through the comment section, but in the course of the training, I'll be sharing a link where if you want to join live, you want to join me live on the studio, you can come on board on the studio, but we are going to share that link later on. For now, you can only join, you can join the conversation through the comment, you can make comments, then from there we'll be able to respond to you, except for those who will be coming live on the studio later on in the course of the training. Now, what is peace and what is peace building? This is very important. This is the starting point for any peace building training. When we talk about peace, peace surpasses the absence of conflict. When we talk about there is peace, we are not saying that there is no conflict. We are not saying there is no conflict. As you get to know, conflict is inevitable. In other words, conflict is part of human endeavor. So when we talk about peace, it doesn't suggest in any way the absence of conflict. But when we talk about peace, we are talking about creating an atmosphere, creating an environment that is inclusive. And such environment, everyone's feeling, and everyone feeling is accommodated, everyone is respected, and everyone is being valued. That's what we mean when we talk about peace. We say there is peace when you have an atmosphere that is safe, that is inclusive, a space where everyone feel valued, everyone feel respected, and everyone is important. In such environment, there is peace because there is cooperation, there is mutual understanding. There is harmony. Not that there is no disagreement, but everyone is respected. In such space and environment, everyone is respected, everyone's opinion is being considered. No one is more important than the other. Like one of my friends will always say, no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. This talks about for we to have such an atmosphere where peace will exist, everyone must be respected. Everyone must be accommodated, irrespective of religion, irrespective of ethnic inclination, and all of that. So that is what peace means. And there are two types of peace that we need to explain. The first is the negative peace, and the other is the positive peace. When we talk about negative peace, refers to the absence of visible violence. For example, you have misunderstanding with someone, not that you are happy about, not that maybe the person disrespected you, the person disregarded you in the public, so to say, and you don't want to create crisis in that environment, so you just decided to maintain, as they will say it in Nigeria, you just decided to hold your temper and hold your cool, decided to maintain. In such an atmosphere, there is no peace because someone has been disrespected, someone has been disregarded, but that is just momentary. So such peace is negative because in the long run, such a person is going to explode. And when such a person explodes, the danger will even be more. So there is negative peace when often there are conflicts that are unresolved, issues that are unresolved. He said, I'm just keeping quiet. You hear some people say, I'm just keeping quiet because of one thing. Don't worry, I'll get back to you. So that is negative peace. People in that environment are experiencing peace because the person is just keeping quiet, but inside of him there is something wrong, and when that person explodes, oh, it's going to be something. So that is negative peace. But when we talk about positive peace envision a world that is completely free from all form of violence, whether overt or covert violence. In this situation or scenario, social injustices are non-existence. There is positive peace when we live or when we create a space where everyone is respected, everyone is valued. No one will have any reason whatsoever to want to agitate in the future. Everyone is just happy. Everyone is being respected. Such peace is positive, and this peace is sustainable, and this is the kind of peace that we are advocating for, not just the one that is momentary. Sometimes because in such environment, for example, there is a law enforcement officer like the police in that environment. He said, let me just hold on, let this policeman go out, they will see what I will do here. That is negative peace. People are experiencing peace, but it is negative because such a person is going to explode in the long run. All right, so that is it. Negative and positive peace. Negative and oh, thank you. I said is hearing that. Somebody just said is hearing that for the first time. Thank you for that feedback. I said just hearing that term for the first time. Negative peace. Yes, negative peace. It exists. Sometimes in the family, you hear the wife or the husband will say, "Don't worry. After now, I will show you because we have visitors." You hear a man who will say, "Don't worry, my wife. Don't worry. I am just keeping quiet because of these children. I'm just keeping quiet because we have visitors. Let these visitors go. You will see what I will show you. You will see what I will do to you." So at that moment, there is peace, but it's negative because such a person is going to explode in the long run. So that's negative peace, and positive peace is what we are advocating for. Now, when we talk about peace building, what does peace building means? We'll talk about peace, then let's add building to it. Peace building. We talk about peace and we say peace, we have negative and positive. Then let's now talk about peace building. Let's add building to it. When we talk about peace building means supporting people in or at risk of conflict to prevent or end direct violence. This is achieved through the process that encourages people to talk, repair relationship, and reform institutions. When you are engaging in peace building, it means that you are supporting people who are at risk of conflict in order to, you're helping, maybe there is a conflict situation, you're intervening to ensure that that problem is resolved, that conflict doesn't lead to violence. You're supporting people who are at risk of conflict to ensure that it doesn't escalate to violence. So when you are engaging in all of these processes, what you are doing is building peace building, supporting people in or at risk of conflict to prevent or end direct violence. The opposite of peace building, people who are engaged in peace building are actually called peace builders. So we have peace builder, those who engage in building peace, supporting people who are at risk of conflict, are helping to prevent conflict not to occur in the first place. So those people are called peace builder. But the opposite of peace building or peace builders are conflict entrepreneurs. Conflict entrepreneurs are those who benefit from conflict, those who even pray that conflict should happen so that they can benefit from it. You know that all over the world, countries and organizations, United Nations and international organizations spend billions and millions of dollars and euro to be able to build peace across communities and across nations. You also know that the primary reason why United Nations exists in the first instance is to build peace and to prevent occurrence of world war. So there are people who actually pray for conflict to happen. These people are conflict entrepreneurs. They benefit from conflict. So the same way you have peace builders who are engaged in peace building, supporting people who are at risk of conflict to ensure there is no conflict, you also have conflict entrepreneurs. But I think it's more profitable to be a peace builder than to be a conflict entrepreneur. All right, so that's what peace building means. All right, Uh, I think we will now talk about, should we talk about violence first? Okay. Okay, let's talk about importance of peace building. Importance of peace building. After that, I'm going to give you an exercise. What are the importance of peace building? Or what are the importance of building peace? What are the importance of peace building? One, it serves to preserve human lives and material resources that would otherwise be lost in crisis. If there is no peace building effort, if there is no peace building effort, human life will be lost when there are violence, when there are crises. In fact, let me tell you a very sad story that happened just 2 months ago, and it was even part of what informed this particular training, the first edition of this training, to be on peace building. So there was this sad story that happened in Port Harcourt. Those of you who are very active in the media space, you must have read that particular news, or about a man and a woman who had domestic issues, crisis, and in the process, the man the man beat up the wife to death. The man beat up the wife to death, and he was arrested at the end of the day. If he has knowledge of peace building and conflict management, he will all understand that there are some things that you could do to be able to prevent that from happening in the first instance. Even when it happens, there are things that you can do to not to allow it to degenerate to violence. Now he has killed the wife, he has been arrested, his career has ended, he has been in prison, and all of that. So that is why peace building is important. It helps to preserve human lives and material resources. We know all of the resources that are usually wasted when there are violence, when there are crises. It plays a crucial role in addressing and mapping differences in groups and community, thereby reducing crisis and violence. Peace building efforts are things that help to reduce violent crises in communities, in families, and all of that. Additionally, peace building maintains security and stability within community, laying the foundation for sustainable development. These are the things, some of the things that peace building help us to achieve. Now, I'm going to give you the first activity or the first exercise. Uh, the first exercise before I proceed. The first exercise, you're going to read this poem. I'm sure you're seeing it from the screen. You're going to read this poem aloud to yourself. You read this poem aloud, and at the end of the day, participants should reflect on the poem. Then you will describe what is the importance of the poem. Discuss briefly the poem with the participants. What do you understand from the poem as regard the importance of peace building? You will read this uh, you're going to read this poem, just very short poem, aloud. At the end, you'll be telling me at the comment section, what do you think is the importance of peace building? Okay, I will read it as well. I will read it aloud. A virtue, but you listen very keenly. You also be looking at it at your screen, because you'll be telling me in the comment section what is the importance of peace building before we go to the next slide. A virtue accompanied with respect and love, a foster of love, unimaginable peace that begins with an individual, in family, and spread to community, creating a means of mutual understanding between parents and their children. Parents bearing the social responsibility to teach their children respect and love that accompanies peace, spread to those in communities and trickles to the world. For when the love in us, for us, overpower the love for power, we all live in peace. If you cannot be a pencil to write peace in other people's lives, be a robber to rob their palm. This is not just a poem, this is a call for peace. I'm sure that you have also read this poem as well. Tell us the importance of peace building from this particular poem. Oh, digital librarian said it is more profitable to be a peace builder than to be a conflict entrepreneur. I agree with you. Absolutely. Tell us in the comment section, what do you understand to be the importance of peace from the poem? What do you understand to be the importance of peace building from the poem? What's the importance of peace building? Let me hear you from the comment section. Uh, yes, I would like you to engage us, digital librarian, say, wow, thank you. Thank you. I would like to hear from you. What is the importance of peace building from what we have said so far and from the poem that I just read and the poem that you just read? Let me hear you. Let me hear you at the comment section. What is the importance of peace building? What is the importance of peace building? Yeah, Jacob, thank you. He said, yes, this poem teaches us how to love. The poem teaches us how to love. Yes, I agree with you. You cannot talk about peace building without talking about love. You can't talk about peace without talking about love. So, yes, it teaches us how we should love. I agree with you totally. I agree with you. Yes, let me hear you from the comment section. What is the importance of peace building from the poem we just read? All right. Uh, okay. Yes, it said it teaches us that peace. Teaches us how, teaches us that peace. Yeah, I think, yeah, I get your thought there. It teaches us how peace starts from the family, build peace to our community, then to the society in general. Yes, that's very instructive. You know, there was this story. Let me tell you a very short story while we are still waiting for a comment. There was this story of a man who wanted to change the world. So he contested for the president of that particular country that he wants to change the world, but he couldn't win the election. He couldn't effect any change. He couldn't effect any change. Yes, I'm just taking the comment. Yeah, thank you, Jacob. Again, he said, yeah, it also teaches us the importance of respect for one another. Very, very important. Yeah, we talked about it. You can't build peace if you don't have respect for another person. There must be mutual respect. In fact, one of the things that causes conflict is disrespect. When you don't have respect for people, nobody want to be treated with discontent. Nobody is more important than any other person. People treating people with respect is very, very important, and this disrespect is what causes conflict. Yes, the peace starts with individual and spread to the community. It fosters community development. Ayodele, thank you so much for your thoughts. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Yes, I'll still be telling you this story while we just get this feedback, then we go straight to the next slide. So there was this story about someone who wanted to change the world. The person wanted to change the world. So he contested for president. He did not win. And he couldn't make any impact. He said, okay, let me come down to the region. He contested for state. He could not make any impact. He now said, okay, let me come to the local government to be able to make impact. Yet at the local government, he could not make any impact. He now came to the family and called his family that he want to be able to make impact. Yet within the family, he couldn't make impact. It was there in the family that they now told him that, Daddy, you can't be able to say you want to change us when you have not changed. So he came to the realization that change actually begins with an individual. Change begins with an individual. So even as we are talking about peace building, you can't be able to build peace if you're not a peacemaker, if you are not first and foremost a lover of peace, because you cannot give what you don't have. So thank you for, again, that's instructive coming for the training. It means that you love peace and you want peace. That's what it shows. Thank you. Let me take this last comment. Yes, Tega, thank you. He said it teaches us that peace building should start from the family because it is the family that makes up the society. Thank you very much. You are very, very correct. Yes, thank you, my boss, Dr. Sam. He said it teaches us about recognizing and respecting the right of everyone to love one another. Loving one another is a peace building effort. You can achieve peace when there are strife and when you don't love one another. It is important, very, very important. Thank you, Samuel. So now we now go straight to defining conflict and violence. Then we now look at what are the causes of conflict and violence, what are the effects, then what are the solution. How can we now be able to deal with conflict when it arises? So uh, I'm going to I'm going to be teaching you one particular exercise that I learned in a particular training that I just attended. That training was organized by Search for Common Ground. Search for Common Ground is one of the peace building organizations in Africa that have done a lot of work within and across Africa on peace building. Recently, they are handling a project in the Niger Delta, and I was one of the peace building facilitators that was invited to do step down training to communities on peace building. So I'll be teaching you a particular exercise that we were taught in that training, and this will help us to understand the difference between violence and conflict. Remember, in your email, I told you to get a plain sheet of paper for practical session. So this is a plain sheet of paper. We'll be using this for practicals. Just get any paper. If it's not a plain sheet of paper, just get any paper and follow keenly the instruction I'll be giving. Through this, you'll be able to learn the difference between violence and conflict. So this is a plain sheet of paper. We want to illustrate in this activity too. The first activity was a poem that we read. Thank you for your participation in that activity. The second one is now on this. So get a paper, and in this particular paper, I want you to fold this paper. You see the way I am folding my own. If you're participating in what I'm doing, let me know in the comment section. I want to be sure that we are all getting involved. We are all getting involved. We are all getting involved. So squeeze the paper. See the way I squeeze mine? You got a plain sheet of paper or any paper, even if it's not any paper whatsoever, you squeeze it. You see the way I squeeze this paper? Yes. See the way I squeeze it? All right. How many of us have done this? I want to hear you in the comment section. Were you able to squeeze the paper? You did? Let me hear you in the comment section. Are you following up with the exercise? Were you able to get a paper and squeeze the paper the way I just did? If you have done that, let me hear you in the comment section. Just say yes. Just say yes. Okay. Yes, you did. Just say yes in the comment section. If you have gotten a paper, any paper at all, and you squeeze it the way I did, just say yes in the comment section. Oh, yes, I did. Jacob, thank you. Jacob said, yes, I did. Okay. Ikechukwu Aslam, thank you. He said, yes, yes, I did. Okay. Thank you. Let me hear more from you in the comment section. If you're, that will help us to know, that will help me to know if you're following up with what we are doing. Oh, Tega, thank you. Tega also said, yes, I did. You squeezed your paper, right? You squeezed your paper. Thank you for those feedback. All right, now the paper that you have squeezed, just open it up again. We said you should just squeeze it. Open up the paper back to its original form. I'm trying to open mine. So this is the paper. This is my own paper that I squeezed. I open it. It is now in its original form. Okay, but what did you observe? The paper that I have squeezed is never the same the way it was ab initio, the way it was from the very beginning. It is now folded. It is now folded because I had squeezed it. Now, this paper, because it has been squeezed, it can actually be used for some purposes, but you cannot use it to write an official letter. You cannot use it for some things, but you can still use it to do one or two things at this level. Now, this same paper that you have folded, and you have returned, I want you to now do, oh, okay, Aslam, thank you. He said he observed that the paper is not smooth again. The paper is not smooth again. I agree with you. After squeezing the paper and try to bring it to its original form, uh, it is not smooth again. I agree with you. Now, this now brings us to the second exercise. Still the paper that you folded that, yes, okay, thank you. Thank you for your thoughts there. Now, this same paper that you have now, after squeezing it and you have opening up, this is the second thing I want you to do. This same paper, I want you to now tear it. Tear it into pieces. See the way I'm tearing my own. Hope you can see me. Do what I am doing. I am tearing my paper. Tear it. Tear the paper. You see the way I tore my own? I've torn my paper. If you've torn your paper the way I have, like this, into pieces like this, can you say yes in the comment section? I want to be sure that you're following up with this exercise. Okay, you've torn your paper the way I did. Ibrahim, thank you. Ibrahim says yes, he has torn the paper. Okay, who else have? If you have torn your paper the way I've done my own, let me hear you in the comment section. I want you to tear your paper into different pieces like this. Who else have? Yeah, I want to hear you because I want to be sure that you're following up. Ikechukwu said yes. Yes, Jacob said yes. Okay. Dr. Sam, my boss, thank you. He also said yes, I have. Now, you would observe that, okay, let me ask you a question. This paper that you have torn like this same paper that you have torn like this, try to bring it back to its original position, the way it was before you tore it. How many of us can be able to do that? To bring the same paper that you have torn to its original position that it was before you tore it. How many of us can do that? If you can do that, say yes or no. If you cannot do that, say no. If you can do that, say yes. Then let me ask you how you're going to do it. How many of us can bring this paper back to its original position, the way it was ab initio from the very beginning? Can any one of us do that? Okay, can I get no in the comment section if that is not possible? If that is not possible, can I get no from the comment section? Okay, Tega said no. Okay, Ashley said no, not possible. Okay, Jacob said no. Okay, capital no. All right. So now, this lies the difference between conflict and violence. When conflict happens, conflict talks about disagreement between two or more parties. And when this disagreement happens, it can be resolved. But when such disagreement is not resolved, it becomes violent when it has to do with destruction. You can repair conflict. You can manage conflict so that it doesn't escalate to violence. But when it has escalated to violence, you can't be able to manage it. You can't be able to repair it. You cannot repair violence when it has happened. For example, they have killed somebody. Somebody is now dead as a result of a protest or as a result of a shooting that was done. How do you repair that situation? Will you bring the person back to life? When we engage in violence, we destroy properties. Will that property come back, or other resources or money will now be used to build that same property afresh? So now, when we talk about conflict is normal, is neutral. Conflict is like electricity. The same electricity that I'm using now, that all of us are using to do this training. Electricity is what is generating the energy that we are using for this training. Now, electricity is neutral. If you decide to put your hand in a naked live wire, it's going to electrocute the person and the person will die. Is it not? They say electricity has killed somebody. But that same electricity serves positive purpose. People use electricity to power their house, to engage in economic activities, and all of that. In such doing, it is serving positive purpose. So that is how conflict is. Conflict has to do with disagreement. So conflict arises when two or more parties have goals that are incompatible. Conflict has to do with disagreement, and this a disagreement is part of human endeavor. You can't rule away conflict. There must be disagreement where one or two persons gathers. But what matters is how you are able to handle it. Conflict on itself is neutral. There are conflicts that will arise and it is handled, and it now gives birth to a better idea. It now serves a better purpose. Do you understand? That same conflict that has risen, some person, because of those also minor conflict, had used it, unable to manage that conflict, they now use it to kill somebody. So conflict is neutral. It could be positive or negative depending on the usage, what it is being used for. But conflict, as they say in conflict training, is that conflict is inevitable. You can't do without it. But you need to acquire knowledge. That's why this training is relevant. You need to acquire knowledge of what to do, of how to handle conflict when it arises. If I tell you that after this training you will never experience conflict, I'll be lying to you. Conflict happens everywhere. Even in heaven, they say there was conflict in heaven. But how do you handle the conflict? So in this training, we'll be learning how to handle conflict, how to deal with conflict. But you must acquire this knowledge so that you don't allow the conflict to now turn to violence. That small disagreement, you don't allow it to escalate to violence. Positive conflict is allowed. It's violence that is not allowed. Because once you see this paper, you couldn't repair the paper again to bring it to its normal state. That is what happens when there is violence. Houses have been destroyed, people have been killed. Will you bring those people back to life? No. But when there are disagreement, misunderstanding, conflict, that could be handled. But it don't allow that conflict to lead to violence. So that's the major difference between conflict and violence. Conflict could be repaired. Conflict is inevitable, is neutral, it could be handled. But when it is now violent, people have died, houses has been destroyed, that particular one is not repairable. And what we are advocating for this training is how to manage conflict so that it doesn't arise, it doesn't lead to violence. It's just like the story I told you about a man who had just little disagreement with his wife, and he decided to kill the wife without being gender biased. There are ways that you could have that such a man could have handled that conflict. One could be by silent, keeping quiet, the one they call avoidance. Because there is a research that was conducted recently. Please, all the women who are in this group, please, I'm not being gender biased, but I want to share knowledge. There's a research that is conducted recently in Harvard, and that research said that women talks over 6,000 words per day. Women talks over 6,000 words per day on the average, and men usually speak 2,000 words per day on the average. So women, the way they are wired, the way they are configured, women don't bottle up emotion. They easily speak up. That is their makeup. That's the way they were wired. So sometimes, I was telling somebody, sometimes when you see your wife talking, even when you're saying, calm down, babe, calm down, she's still talking. She wants to complete her 6,000 words for the day. So if you know that, you will just avoid it and say, okay, let her talk. Instead of you are still talking, you will now go, you hit her a little before you know someone die, and they will hold you for murder. But that could have been avoided, knowing fully that they talk 6,000 words per day and she wants to complete her. Well, for women that are I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, but I'm just trying to share knowledge. That's what I've told you now is what they call avoidance method. There are some conflict or this misunderstanding will happen and you just avoid it. That's avoidance method. That's one of the techniques that we are going to learn on that conflict management. It's one of the techniques that we will be learning in this training. So I hope I have been able to now convince you that there is a difference between conflict and violence. Conflict can be repaired. Conflict is inevitable. You cannot pray against it. It will happen. It's only to acquire knowledge on uh, how to be able to manage it. Let me get your feedback on your thought about the exercise that we just did about conflict and violence being different. Do you agree with me? Do you think that they are the same from what we have experimented? What are your thoughts? Let me hear you from uh, the comment section. Okay, digital librarian said, wow. Okay, Dr. Justice said, natural, you mean, sir? No. Natural, you mean, sir? Okay, well, I don't understand the context for at which you're mentioning this, but what I am trying to say is that conflict is inevitable. To that extent is natural. Yes, if it is to that extent, if it does, that's a context you are looking at it, yes. It is also neutral. It serves different purpose. It all depends on the usage. It could serve positive purpose, where such disagreement now lead to a greater good, lead to development of greater idea. The common saying, we disagree to agree. It could also now serve a negative purpose, where such conflict are not controlled. It now degenerate to violence, to killing, to shooting. And violence is what we are advocating against. We are saying that conflict should be managed so it doesn't lead to violence. As violence cannot be repaired. When someone died, there was a time a whole lot of shooting happened in the place where I came from. I came from Omok in River State. There was some political crisis and a lot of people were shot. So at the end of the day, we are asking, you would have killed this person's brother and you will now be working freely in the same community. With the brothers, people that you kill, will they come back and you say we should make peace? So it becomes difficult, but at the level of conflict disagreement, we could just resolve it. Yes, that is what I mean. Justice, I hope that feedback helps to what the question you were trying to ask. All right. Uh, Common causes of conflict. I am going to rush this, but let me get your feedback. Was that exercise useful? Did you find that exercise useful? Was it wow? Was it a wow exercise for you experience? How did you find the exercise? Then I will quickly, we said we are going to be doing 1 hour per day, except you permit me. If not, we're already overshooting our time. We just have about 2 minutes that is left. So I would like to rush this now, but you can drop your comment about what you feel about the exercise that we just did on conflict and violence. Tega said, very useful. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Tega, for that feedback. Straight we go to common causes of conflict. What are the things that causes conflict? Personality differences. This person, you need to understand that human beings are wired differently. The way you think could be different from the way another person think. That is one of the things that causes conflict. So you take people the way they are, not the way you are. Injustice is one thing that causes conflict when there are injustice perceived or actual. When people are treated unjustly, they will want to react. Another thing that causes conflict, resource allocation, land, money, employment, distribution. When these are unequally distributed, it leads to conflict. Power imbalance leading to exclusion of certain group of persons, it leads to conflict. Misconception and prejudice existing between group lead to conflict. Inadequate communication, individuals or group having conflictual interests or needs. These are all things that lead to conflict. Those are the common causes of conflict. Money is there, personality differences is there, misconception, prejudice, inadequate communication. These are all things that causes conflict. Because of our time, I would not like to talk more on that because we still have like 1 or 2 slides to go. Okay, so now I want you to reflect on all of these things that causes conflict. Do you think they are true? Personality differences, injustice, resources. In fact, almost all the things that causes different conflict are just revolving around these things that we have mentioned: money, land, employment, distribution of resources, injustice. Nobody like to be treated unjustly. They will always want to uh, react in one way or the other. All right. Now, how do you think this is where we are going to end for today because it's already 8 p.m. So I will crave your indulgence to just give me additional 5 to 10 minutes. I want us to be able to keep to the time we said we'll just do 1 hour per day. This is where we are also actually going to end. But let me leave you with this. How do you think unresolved conflict might impact on you, both career, business, and emotionally? Share any experience or any observation. How do you think unresolved conflict? And that is why it's important that we learn about conflict resolution. For for one, I usually tell my wife, anytime we have misunderstanding in the house, I can't be able to pray. I'm in academics, so I'm a lecturer. I can't be able to write papers. I won't be able to concentrate. So most time I will even be the one itching that let this conflict be resolved. So tell me, how do you think unresolved conflict might impact on you, both your career, business, emotionally, and even society? That is why we must learn skills that we could use to resolve conflict, because unresolved conflict has a lot of negative effect on individuals, on the society, and all of that, and the entire world at large. So, how does unresolved conflict impact on you? Have you been involved in a conflict that was not resolved? How did you feel? How did it impact on you, on your career? How did it impact on you, on your academics? If you're a student, tell us. Yeah, Ayodele, thank you for that feedback. You say your analysis are very clear, agreeable. Thank you, Ayodele, for that feedback. Thank you, Ayodele. Thank you, thank you, Kechku. So I am leaving you with this question. I will start with that because I don't want us to overshoot our time. We said it's going to be for just 1 hour per day. But you reflect on this. How do you think unresolved conflict might impact you, both your career, your business, emotionally? Share your experiences and your observation. So tomorrow we'll be looking at conflict resolution. Since unresolved conflict is not good, it impacts on us as individuals in our workplace and all of that. Tomorrow we'll now be learning about conflict resolution. How do we resolve conflict? We'll be looking at what are the techniques we could use to resolve conflict. Conflict in our home, in our workspace, in the society, for those who will now emerge as peace builders. What are the conflict method that could be used in resolving conflict? So those are things that we are going to be learning. We have under dealing with conflict management style. We have avoidance, we have accommodation, we have competing, we have collaborating, and the rest of them. So that's what we are going to be doing tomorrow. So do me a favor, like our YouTube channel, invite someone to be part of this training. Is completely free. And for those who want a certificate, because they want certification from our NGO, you just make a modest contribution of 4,000 naira or 4 US dollars. What some of us spend per day for snacks and other things is more than that. Just because we are going to be sending you certificate and the slide on other training material. That's why we are requesting for that modest contribution of 4,000 for those who need that particular certification from us and the training resources. So if you want the slide, if you want the training recording, if you want that certificate, kindly just in the link where you registered, go to that same link. Make where you have all the account details on that link where you registered. Make the contribution and send this evidence of payment to the WhatsApp number on that link as well. By so doing, will help us to facilitate the process of preparing your certificate, so that we are believing that once you're done with the training, you should get a certificate immediately, so that you can also move to do other things as well. So if you need the certification at the end of the training, the recording and the slide that we are using, just made that modest contribution of just 4,000 naira or 4,000 or 4 US dollars. You have all of their account details in the link where you register. And when you do that, send evidence of payment to the WhatsApp number that is also on the platform. I think this is where we want to end it for today. Like I said, we are just using 1 hour per day. I understand that we are very busy with work, with other things, so we don't want to overchoke the training. So we are just using 1 hour per day, and that is why we decided to do it for 3 days. But the third day will be exclusively reserved for those who are given certificate, because you're going to be taking a certificate that has our name, the name of our organization. There are some things I would like to tell you to be a peace ambassador and all of that. That's just for the third day. But for today and tomorrow, the training is exclusively free to attend. So I think this is where we'll be ending for tonight. All those who have subscribed, you will get the recording, so you can still go back to the same YouTube channel and listen again. You have access to the replay. We also provide all of that at the end of training, from the day one to the last training. So I would like to say thank you to all of us that have joined, who have made our time to join the training. Thank you, Dr. Sam, who has joined us from Port Harcourt. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Aslim. Thank you, Digital Librarian. Thank you, Ayo Dele, that has joined us. Oh, thank you, Abudali, who joined all the way from Sokoto. Thank you for joining. Ibrahim, who he joined us all the way from Sokoto. Thank you, Ibrahim, for joining. Thank you, Tega, joined from Asaba Delta State. Thank you, everyone that have joined, even if I did not mention your name. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow by the same time, 7 p.m. on the dot. We'll be starting the training. Also, do us a favor, join our WhatsApp community platform. That's where we share different opportunities on peace building and conflict management, grant proposal writing, and all of that. Join that platform and you will see a lot of opportunities that we'll be sharing on that platform. So thank you, everyone that has joined. If you have something to say, you can just go ahead and type it in the comment section. If there are questions, we just use 2 minutes. I want us to end at 8:10 on the dot. Let it be that we just took additional 10 minutes. So if you have any question, we'll just use 1 or 2 minutes to be able to respond to it. If not, we will continue from tomorrow. If there are questions or comments, yeah, we have 2 minutes to do that in the comment section. Let's get your feedback. Was it worth your time? Did you find value in this? The one today was just the introduction. Did you find value for your time? Was it worth it? Let us know in the comment section. Today is just the foundation. We'll now build on this from tomorrow. But tell us, let's get that feedback from you. How was it for you for the day one? Did you find it rewarding? Let me get that feedback for you. I'll be very happy if I get that feedback. Yes, so you can type it in the comment section. Okay. Can you still hear me? All right. Okay. Thank you, Jacob. Jacob said interesting. Jacob said it was interesting. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you, Jacob. He said it was interesting. Oh, thank you. We hope to make it more interesting starting from on tomorrow. Just join on time so that we can also start on time because we don't want to do Nigerian time. We want to start exactly at the time because we have a lot of things that we want to cover up for this training. Uh, okay, thank you, Joseph. Okay, for the other feedback, we will not be able to take more feedback because of time. If you have additional feedback, oh, thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. Ibrahim said this is very educative. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you for that feedback. We appreciate you and we hope to make it more educative tomorrow. So join tomorrow. Tell people to join. Tomorrow we'll be looking at how to handle conflict, dealing with conflict, practical section, how to deal with conflict. Okay, Tega said, I enjoyed the class, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, he said, please, how can we join the WhatsApp community? The same place where you register, just click that particular link. You will see the WhatsApp community link, but I'll be sharing that tomorrow as well on the comment section. Or you can send me a private message or a message through our email, hofty.center@gmail.com, and we'll send you the link. Or you follow the same link where you register, just go to that same place and you will see the WhatsApp community platform. Or send me on an email on hofty as HOFTI center as CENTRE @gmail.com. Then we'll provide you with the link, or you could send a message to my WhatsApp number, on +234 7063084464. Once again, thank you, everybody. Thank you for all your feedback. I know some persons are still typing, but we can't be able to wait. Oh, okay. Ayodele said, I have not registered and would like to. Okay, you've not registered. Okay, send me a message. I can't be able to share that link now. I'm trying to see if I can share that link. I can't be able to share the link now. Okay, by tomorrow we'll make that link to be available, but you can send an email. We'll send you the link. I'll send email on hofty.center@gmail.com. We'll provide you with the link. hofty.center@gmail.com. Hofty as in HOFTI .center CENTRE They will provide you with the link. There was a passionate appeal for us to include those who could not meet up to register to also join this training. So this is where we'll be ending for today. Once again, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you invite people to join the training tomorrow. Thank you. Have a very good night. Have a very good night rest, and see you tomorrow by the same time. Thank you. My name is Dr. Prince Eze, and I'm the one facilitating this training on behalf of Hope for Tomorrow initiative. Thank you so much.